Let's make some cake. Strawberry cake. I'm going to use some vanilla extract, some strawberries, vegetable oil, baking soda, baking powder. I'm going to use a lemon, sour cream, 3 eggs. I'm also going to use sugar and flour and a bit of salt. And let's get started. I have my strawberries chopped up. I used a pound of strawberries, 1 package, and you want to cut them up fairly small. This is about the ideal size, about 1/2 inch, and or a little bit smaller is fine. And you get about 2 3/4 cup. That's what you want. If you chop them up too big, you'll get like more in here, but they'll be so loosely packed that you don't want that. You want them packed up pretty tight. So anyway, 1/2 inch cubes or so. Try your best. You get about 2 3/4 cups. Then the lemon, I like to use a vegetable peeler, carrot peeler, and stack my strips up. Then chop them like that, and then go across them to get all the zest chopped up. We're going to use the whole, pretty much the whole lemon zest, and we want a large lemon, because a large lemon will yield about 1/4 cup of juice. And here's my Bundt pan. I sprayed it with cooking oil and flour. It doesn't look like I have flour in there because I like to use this, and this has, when you spray it, it sprays the flour in there for you as well as the oil. And then here's my flour. It's 3 cups of flour mixed with 1 1/2 teaspoons of baking powder and 1/2 teaspoon baking soda. And you don't have to sift it, but I did. I like to sift my flour just about any time that I make a cake. I measured it and then sifted. Then we're going to go with the sugar. This is 1 3/4 cup sugar. And the oil, 1/2 cup of vegetable oil. And the zest of that lemon. And we're going to mix this up. Well, that's mixed up. Now we're going to add 3 eggs, but 1 at a time. You didn't see me get that first one in. And here's the 3rd egg. And we're going to mix this up pretty good. Well, that mixed up pretty well. Didn't take too long, maybe 1.5 minutes is the way I mixed it on high. And it seemed to build the volume. It seemed like there was more in there as it was mixing up. Okay, now we're going to add the vanilla, 1 teaspoon. Salt, this is coarsely ground salt, 1 teaspoon. And the lemon juice. And the sour cream. Okay, I'm going to get all that sour cream in there and then mix it up. I got that sour cream, all of it in there, and that sour cream was 1 1/4 cups. Now here's my flour. I'm just going to stir it in like about 1/3 of it at a time. And just get that stirred in. My oven is preheating to 325 degrees, and this cake will bake. It depends upon the oven. My oven is not very, well, I'll say reliable. It's not always reliable. It works, but it's kind of flaky. But it'll bake for anywhere from 65 minutes to 75 minutes. Okay, let me get all this, the rest of the flour stirred in, and we'll be right back. I think I have it mixed up good enough. Let's add the strawberries. We'll stir those in. It's going to be good. My oven is waiting on me. Really stir these in. And then we'll get our Bundt pan. Get all the batter in there. I have it all in there. You want to give it a few taps, kind of jiggle it. And one thing I didn't tell you is when you oil the pan, pay a lot of attention to the center here. Pay a lot of attention. Make sure you get it better than you think it needs to be. So now this is ready to go in my 325 degree oven. I'll set the timer for 65 minutes and check it, and could go longer, probably will in my oven. Well, the cake is just out of the oven. It baked for 65 minutes. My oven did good today. I can tell it's done. This is most important how I do it. This is how I do it. If you press down and it bounces back and doesn't leave a depression, it's done. And plus, of course, it's pulled away from the sides of the pan. So I'm going to let this cool. I like to cool it on a rack and let this cool for 15 minutes. Now we'll take the cake and put it on. Ooh, that's still hot. Invert it. And move it over and let it cool all the way. Well, I made a glaze to put on it, but I didn't really put enough powdered sugar in the glaze. as you see on the plate, it's still kind of runny and it's clear, and it just needed more powdered sugar. So I'll tell you about the glaze in the description box and how I made it and all. And here's a piece of the cake. It's very moist. Oh man, that's good. You know, I think the of course the vegetable oil and especially the sour cream is added to that, really makes for a nice moist cake, and I love that kind of cake. Hope you give it a try, and thank you so much for watching.